Hey guys, we got a new episode of Bull entitled It's Classified, and it is up next here on AFTERBUZZ TV.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
That is Lady Gaga, and this is not the Super Bowl, but this is pretty damn important because this is the Bull After Show here on AFTERBUZZ TV, joined by two lovely co-hosts and myself, Kevin Ellis. And this is just now I feel like I've got to kind of like bring down the energy a little bit and just let her sing.
Yeah,
this was a great performance.
You know I would have already started talking, and I let that go.
See, whenever we play music at the beginning of these shows, I don't know what to do because either I dance awkwardly or I can't sing, so it's one of the two.
We all dance awkwardly and we all shower sing. It's okay. Pretend you're in the shower here.
I love shower singing. It's so much fun.
We do, and we all sound so much better in the shower than we do at any other point in time.
I will have you know, I can sing. I sound good either way.
There you go, girl.
Maybe
next time we'll have her do it.
I've done both. Thank you very much.
Okay. Well, ladies, it is Valentine's Day, so happy Valentine's Day to you both. My loves.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Well,
Nowhere
please.
else I'd rather be.
That is so sweet. Well, please introduce yourselves to our audience.
Hey guys, I'm Chae Jones. You can find me at Real Chae Jones on Twitter and Instagram.
And Nadine, Della, Pelle here. You can find me everywhere at Nadine at DP and the number 3.
And I am Kevin Ellis. You can find me on Twitter at @TheKevinEllis or on Instagram at KevinEllis25. So, it was a pretty good episode of Bull. We had our first loss. We can kind of call it that, can't we?
Yeah,
I feel like we
actually
can.
Well, let's say mission failure because I like the way I like that he used that word. It was like not a loss as much as a mission failure.
Yeah, it was a good way to cover it up. And no, yeah, it was. It was our first loss, and we were told that we were going to be seeing this. And I don't know if I'm as excited as I thought I would be. I'm not. I don't know why I was building it up so much that we need a loss, but. Yeah. It was interesting to see how he took a loss in a positive way, like you're saying, with it was a mission failure, or we got her only a year instead of 20.
There you go. So kind of a win in the end.
Exactly.
Did you get the feeling as it was coming towards the conclusion of this episode that we were headed towards a loss?
Like when Benny got arrested, that kind of that was like, yeah, maybe we're gonna get a guilty.
Okay.
I didn't. I thought that it was going to go how it normally goes. I thought it was going to be innocent once again. And as they were reading the counts, it was the first count innocent, second count innocent, third. I was like, all right, you know.
And I'm like, for me, it had to be that
they...
last count. That had to you set me up all these 3 counts, and the 4th count, you're guilty. I was like, you kind of set me up for failure.
I was waiting for it. I mean, I was waiting for it. I kind of got the feeling once. It was really when she was doing her closing arguments, I sort of got the feeling that this is going to go a little south somehow. And right when they started reading off the counts, which they rarely do multiple counts, I was gearing up for, okay, I'm waiting for the last one. I guess that's just too much television and movies that I've watched to kind of understand that, but at that point in time, I was ready, and I was not disappointed in the end.
I didn't know what it meant by if you were guilty by 1 count, if it meant lesser, or how
it
much.
depends on the charge, I think.
Yeah, so exactly. We didn't really know what the charges were. Obviously, that's too much detail to really give us. We don't really need to know that. But I mean, 1 year, that's not bad, and she gets to stay on base.
Yeah, I wonder if she is going to be confined on base.
Yeah, probably in army jail.
Yeah. Okay, that was something that I was curious about, whether it would be served through some type of like physical work, whether it be actually shoveling stuff.
Shoveling
well,
stuff.
I'm trying to think of what prisoners do in jail.
Who knows? I mean,
but we're talking about army jail, so that's like a totally different bargain too.
You're digging ditches, trenches, and you're gearing up for any kind of basic training that who knows what the grunt work is?
I love your intel on this so much, too. You have this classified information you're leaking to us all right now. Thank you for that, Kev.
Yep, bringing my expertise to this panel. Yeah. That's what I do.
She was amazing, though. She was a great actress. She really played that kind of, tough girl, sticking to, to my morals and my ethics and stuff. And I don't know, she played it really well. I really enjoyed her. Normally, I hate all the females that come on. Not hate them. I think they're great actresses, but I'm saying the characters themselves. But I really enjoyed her character on the show.
Very authentic.
Yeah.
I totally agree with you.
Right?
Especially when she was approached by Bull in her jail cell when he showed up early, and there was just this interaction between the two of them where she, kept herself really composed, and then just all of a sudden just shed a tear right at the moment when she should. It was just like, okay, that is really good acting for just an episodic,
I know, especially
actor.
like playing a army lieutenant. I feel like, because like army is like it's all rigidity, and she just had it. Like it was actually physically a part of her body. I so respected that part of the acting as much as I did her actual acting.
Yeah.
Because like for me, I'm like I'm getting paid to be an lieutenant. I'm like, okay, I'm like waiting in my head. I'm like, is it over? Can I not like be this still? Because I'm not a still person.
Well, maybe that's why you're not an army actress.
I will not be an army
It's a good
actress.
thing you just were discussing it and you're not the actress. So.
It'd be funny. I mean, I'm getting paid for it. I'll make it work.
Yeah, girl,
But,
get it.
however, I would let my mind just be like, okay, you can't move. Be really still.
I love that that's all you were thinking about the entire time watching that. Was how still she was being, not anything else.
No, that's something about now. I'm just saying that, but like for me, like you have to kind of sit there and just like.
Yeah, it's having good posture.
I have good posture, but like. It's not the kind of thing to be
It's not your
still.
thing. It's not your thing to sit up straight. All right, girl. We're learning stuff.
I can't do that.
All right.
I mean people. No.
Just Army Mannerisms 101 here on Bull, apparently.
Yeah.
Something I was not picking up on, but
We'll
Chae
teach
was.
it or maybe
I
drop
like
out.
I
I
like
don't know.
body language, like the whole
Yeah.
especially body language of the army, because I have friends who are in the army. I have friends who are in the Navy, so like I see both sides.
Yeah, well, did we think that was interesting? Bull, he's obviously a body language expert.
Yes.
And so him having to, he's used to normal civilians every day and their body language and stuff. And I feel like in the army, like we're talking about, you're much more reserved. So I wonder, it looked like a little bit of a challenge for him as well, too, to really understand, the crossed arms or whatnot, if maybe that's just how they are.
True.
Not so in that moment.
And when we found out like all the information they had was totally wrong, that really kind of threw everything he actually had
It really
out
did.
the door.
Yeah.
I was trying to pick up on the hand movements of our
Yeah, like the whole
defendant.
cross my hand,
Yeah,
like,
yeah, it was
clench
really-
it with one, and then you
I've
just
never
like
seen that before.
me either.
I did not know that was I'm guessing that is simply reserved for females in the military because you never see men walking around like that. So I thought that was really curious, but I've never seen anything like that. So yeah, it was a pickup.
Yeah, it was different. We were able to see a lot of things, but I liked it though. I liked that we got out of the typical. We haven't done an army or military location before. So
I was gonna say it actually looked like they did film on location at some
Right?
type of
Yeah,
base.
that had to be like a fort anywhere in the world type place, because that is nowhere like any other place I've ever seen that has never been on an army base. Like no sets. Like
Yeah.
you see location sets of army bases, you can tell the difference from like it being actually at the place and actually being engineered.
Which is interesting. I'd like to look that up though and see exactly where, because do army bases or military bases allow cameras to come on and rent out for a set? Because I don't think that's really probable. So I think it may have been a set.
Might
But I
have
don't
been
know.
some type of military academy too.
Maybe an academy. Yeah, that
Okay,
sounds,
that makes a lot.
yeah.
That's
There are
actually
some-
a lot more.
Well, in New
probable.
York.
Upstate New York.
Upstate New York, my hometown.
Yep.
There's a lot around there and stuff.
Yeah.
So
Albany, right? Albany is where they actually have the Navy Academy. Am I correct?
not Navy, West Point.
West Point is where
West
that is.
Point
Okay.
is near there.
Got it.
Navy
I always
is
forget
down
which one's
in
West Point. That's the army one, right?
West Point is
Okay.
Army. Yep, and the Naval Academy is down in Maryland.
Got
Okay.
it. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I wouldn't be too far fetched because they do shoot in New York.
Yeah.
Well, it was a good episode overall. I mean, it started out very interestingly, where we got that Edward Snowden, Chelsea Manning type vibe. Did you get that feeling right away?
A
I
little
got that.
bit.
I get the vibe of just like what's going on in today's world. Just it's classified. You don't have the right clearance. I would get sick of hearing that if I was Bull. Personally, that would just piss me off. like no, for real. Like if you call me in, your life is on the line. You're saying it's classified until you get the right clearance. And I totally understand it's protocol. Blah blah this, blah blah that, but you also threw protocol out the window when you sent the memo.
Yeah, it was a lot of ethical issues were brought to the forefront, and I mean, I was even questioning what I would have done in her situation, in just this whole in Bull's situation and Benny's situation. Everybody just had their own dilemma as far as what what they viewed as important enough to, when it was important enough to break the rules. I think that was kind of the main theme of this episode. Am I not correct? Or at least what would you think?
I think that's the majority of what the episode's supposed to be about, what's right and what's wrong.
Yeah, I think it's a very topical episode because of what we're seeing happening daily with WikiLeaks coming out, with stuff being leaked about Russia, with this and that, especially during the election. So I think it was a very timely episode, and it's something that is true that does happen. We see this all the time. We've seen generals get fired. We've seen stuff like that happen. But I can get the point of, you are the only one who knows, or you and a handful of people know about this information, and it's not fair that the rest of the world doesn't know this because someone is doing something illegal, and just because they're protected under this classified term. But it really sets you up for, you signed up to be able to have this clearance and to not leak it and stuff. So it's this ethical thing. I think that what she did was right. I think that is completely okay to get justice, because she deleted the stuff that would have given away the information about that base. She deleted the stuff that she knew was highly classified, and she just gave them, like, hey, this guy needs to be fired, and no one's listening to me, and he really does. Yeah, so I agreed with that.
Sorry.
No, go
I was
ahead.
gonna say, what I found was not weird. It was just the way the Colonel Jackson worded it, and he said she chose her humanity over her duty.
Very interesting. That's a good point.
just that whole sentence, that quote, like, it actually makes you think. I was actually sitting there thinking when he said, I was like, when you sign up for the army, you kind of sign in your life away to the government, basically, and you kind of give up your right a little bit to have emotions, in a way, and I totally get that, but I don't think you should also lose your humanity because of your duty.
And she brings up a good point in her whole analysis, in that the military it's about defending civilians, and it's about defending our right to freedom. And if that is violated in any way, shape, or form, she felt in this instance that human rights were being violated, that innocent civilians, 43 people died at the hands of a military commander who was going above his clearance to, in some respect, to decide, the fate of somebody else's life, just in seeking out the tactical objective of the mission. And yet the tactical objective that was totally absent in his mind is the fact that you're supposed to protect the civilians. And she was finding this injustice so wrong that she had to do something about it. And I, like you said, I don't blame her one bit. Yeah. She had that power to speak up against an injustice. We've all felt it at some point in time in our lives. I'm sure that where we see something that shouldn't be happening, and we speak up about it, even if we are low on the totem pole of power. We have to say something.
And what I think I loved about her too is she immediately said to Bull, "I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to say I did something I didn't do, or I'm not going to." She's like, "I'm going to take I did do this. I shouldn't get the punishment that I'm going to get for it, but I did it, and I back it up, and I believe fully in everything I did." And I think that was great about it. You saw how passionate she was about it, and she should be. Good for you, girl. Those innocent people that have no one backing them up right now because they're dead.
And I don't think it was directly addressed, but do you think that she was completely,
like, I'm found guilty, like I can't believe I'm found guilty, and I really will have to face how many years I'm gonna have to face in Leavenworth.
Yeah.
So I think that was also a blow for her. Like she knows what she did. I totally back up. What she did was right.
Yeah.
And I am totally proud of that, because she said she loves her country. So, and the whole point was to protect civilians, and she found a fault in that. But still, going to jail is scary either way.
Oh yeah, no, nobody wants to go to jail.
Yeah.
No matter what the consequence. So the TAC team goes dark after. What ended up happening? Was there a power outage?
It was okay. So
I actually missed it.
So Marissa, they shut down all the computers, every computer, everything, the printers and everything, except everything started breaking down one by one. The HVAC, or however you want to say, the air conditioning, and the printer, and a worm got into the printer, the HVAC, and the power, and messed up. 3 days before, prior to them
Shutting everything off. Yeah.
Yeah, so it turns out that it actually was what it seemed to be
Chinese
the
hackers.
the Chinese hackers. But it was fascinating to see the team really without all of their technology and with
Cable. Oh my gosh,
when they didn't have it, they failed.
Yeah, because I think that is interesting, because I think we've discussed this too, how if this is actually based on Dr. Phil's kind of history, they didn't have this stuff back then. I know it's loosely based, it's not completely fully based, but it's even back then before technology and stuff, how would you be able to do all this trial science and whatnot? And they answered our question kind of. You actually have to go out and talk to neighbors, and you actually have to go and physically look at their car and see what information, the bumper stickers are on there. And you actually just have to not hide behind your computer kind of and actually get up and go do it, and it is a lot harder and it's a lot more time consuming, and this is why people invented computers and the internet was invented. But I think that it's interesting that the first case they lose is the first time they didn't have their tools.
I agree, and it would have actually been sort of interesting to see the reconnaissance mission go on when they actually had to find this information, like seeing them actually play that role, because it was just we breezed past that whole thing, so I
just like Cable's whole why don't you just kill me?
Yeah, Cable
she couldn't she's a hacker. That's all her time is spent on computers. When she there's nothing, you have paper. Her face is like, what am I gonna do with this paper?
Yeah, well, luckily they got hacked, so she could do some unhacking at least.
Did you notice Marissa had a whole thumbprint set up on her door?
Yeah,
and Cable has never entered that sanctum.
She was so excited.
She was like, "You're letting me into your room." Wait, what?
That was pretty great.
She's like, "Wait, me? I can come in? I'm not. And what's so special in there?" That's just Marissa just doesn't like her stuff being touched.
No, and she had to pull this big giant plug out of a wall. That's what I thought was really funny. There was this giant yellow plug in the wall, and Kate was like, "Screw this."
Yeah.
And pulled it.
I was hoping there would have been something revealing about Marissa's character inside her office, like, I don't know, a Teletubby, cushy doll or something like that.
I love
something
that.
To
I was
actually
hoping
show
she might have
a
kid, like a secret kid or something. I don't know. She had pictures of a secret kid in her office.
Secret kid? What? You think she's just hoarding a child in there?
No, pictures, pictures of her kid, she doesn't share with the group or something. I don't know.
You guys are interesting. You think she has a Teletubby cushy thing, and you think a small child is running around in there.
No,
and only one of us is guilty of some kind of crime, and that's not me.
All right, guys. All right. Well, luckily there's only computers in there.
No, I thought it was interesting. They had a kill switch in the office.
I think all they do is hacking, though. That's kind of brilliant. What they're doing most of the time, we discuss this, it's not legal.
True.
They try to portray
it makes so much sense, but
you
actually have a whole thing that says kill switch, and you gotta flip it, and you gotta press the kill. That's kind of awesome, secret spy type stuff.
Yeah, it is, and that's what they're doing. They have Cable's entire job is to hack. Everything. Yeah. They hack the police. They hack doctors. They had all these high up officials constantly to help win their cases. Bull wears an earpiece in the courtroom, and they have mock jurors sitting in the courtrooms. All of that is not technically it's not illegal. I don't know if his earpiece thing's illegal actually.
I mean, I don't think having a comm makes any I don't think there's a law saying you can't have comms. I'm pretty sure.
Typically, don't they actually have to remove their cell phones?
They take their cell phones and stuff, yeah.
I actually do think that there is an illegal element to it, as far as just courtroom rules are.
Not being able to talk to the outside of the courtrum.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So it makes sense that they have the kill switch, and I think just in Bull fashion that it's right there and prominent.
Yeah. And no, Chuck's face is like what do you mean I can hit the switch?
Yeah, but I was shocked though that they didn't see that though. That we didn't see all that have to happen. The FBI, they were able to cut a deal. I think it would be kind of interesting to see them get raided and stuff.
I agree.
It'd be sad. It'd be terrifying, but
I just want to know what would happen when that. Now that I've seen the kill switch, I want somebody to press the kill switch.
What?
I don't know. It's like when there's a red button, somebody tells you not to press the red button, so all you're doing is staring at the red button because you want to press it.
Were you the girl that pulled the fire alarms in high school?
Seriously.
And then get the blue or purple ink all over your hand? No. That was definitely her.
No, I was the type
Guys, this is her. What high school did you go to?
I will admit, I'm the type of girl that when you told me not to run out the back door, for some reason, I still ran out the back door and ended up running into the brick wall.
All right. Well,
instead.
Hopefully you're learning
because I didn't like being told what to do.
Oh, okay.
That I know that it's halfway gotten better as an adult.
So
I have
if you worked at Bull's office, you would press that kill switch just because.
If he told me to, yes.
Just because they told you not to. Oh goodness gracious! Let's not keep all the buttons locked down.
We gotta get some kind of like red button
Keep all
that
the
you just hit
buttons.
during the show.
Oh, that'd be
Goodness
so much
gracious.
fun. Like you get
Goodness.
like you've been now bulled.
You've been now bold. I love it. We're getting crazy this Valentine's. All the sugar rush.
I'm seriously thinking that's what we
I love it.
I'm sugar right now.
Oh goodness.
I should not have sugar before shows, man. I'm telling you.
I love it.
Well, moving along, so Bull, at one point in time, was kept from hearing the contents of the classified information that Benny got to hear.
Yep.
Did you think that that was almost a little bit of an ego hit for Bull?
A little bit. It was
Yeah.
interesting seeing him struggle with that. But I think he did understand it, though. He really did understand it, and I think he did. Even just seeing what he was trying to do with the pulse and stuff. I mean, it's hard to work though. They work as a team. Benny and him work as a team. And when the biggest information for a case that you have, you can't discuss that with one another. What's the point of having the other there?
Right.
So Bull did whatever he kind of needed to do to get that info, but I think he was sensitive that Benny couldn't say anything. And at the end of the day, Benny's the one who put himself in jail. Bull didn't do that.
No, truth.
So, yeah.
Yeah, it was fascinating, and Benny was really struggling with not being able to tell Bull all of the
Like
information
you
that
get,
he
like
had.
you saw him kind of like shake a little bit, like he really wanted to like
Yeah, it's like his
spill
best
the
friend.
secrets.
Yeah.
You know, it's his best friend. It's his boss. He feels like he has to lean on him for a lot of his advice. And it was one of those instances where I could sense a lot of conflict within him. And as
Yeah.
it turns out, Bull was sensing this. And he really, I mean, again, with the ego hit, he was really wanting to learn this information. And that's why he sat him down and almost an interrogation style, grabbed him by a little too close.
A little close.
A little close. He grabs him and starts reading his pulses.
Yeah.
So he doesn't have to ask him any, or make him reveal any true confidential information or break any laws.
Which is so interesting that he's so right. The human body you don't have to say anything and you can tell what's going on inside their head,
DIAD.
kind of them.
Yeah.
With the
Just
way that
that term.
their eyes blink and the way their facial moves. I need to start studying this
A
stuff.
little bit, right?
Like
Don't
a
it make you
lot.
want to?
Oh, a lot. I need to just look this up online a little bit.
I once went to I don't want to call it a magic show because it wasn't magic. It wasn't an individual who was trained. I think he had been with either the FBI or the CIA for many years.
So it was
But
like a
he-
mentalist?
Yeah, it was. Yes, it was a mentalist. Exactly. So he had gone. He had retired, and now he goes on tour, and he was reading people, just facial expressions, movements, and he nailed it every single time. It was fascinating. Never seen anything like it.
Oh my
but you could
gosh.
tell he truly was that guy. He was Bull. Except in that interrogation room,
Yeah.
he's the guy that knows that you're lying. when you're
That's
lying.
so awesome you're able to go and witness that.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
like a really...
Did he read you?
He did not read me, but the person that I was with, he ended up actually reading them. So that was...
And the thing is, us as humans, because most people, a majority of people don't know how to control those natural things that we do.
Mm-hmm.
So only if you know how to, basically only if you know how to beat a lie detector, kind of, you know how to control your heartbeat and your facial movements and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone's the same. You can just figure it out, which
Yeah.
is so interesting and fascinating.
Yeah, if you're human, you're going to probably...
Exactly. It's so fascinating.
So at one point in time, we did, say earlier that Benny did end up sacrificing himself in some respect for Lieutenant Dale's freedom. Did you sense that he was going to make that type of jump for her?
Because of the person he is, and after their conversation in the hallway before they went in, yeah, I believed it.
Yeah, I think the conversation they had prior, they got very, close with that. I don't think Benny was thinking right when he did that. I
Yeah,
think
he
he
just,
didn't
like,
really
spoke-
understand the
Full-on consequences?
the consequences exactly, because when Bull said to him, "Do you know what happens now?" He's like, "Yeah, what they're gonna meet me at my house and then arrest me." He goes, "No, they're gonna do it right now." And Benny goes, "Oh." Like he just was kind of in shock about what. Oh my God! Wait, did that really just happen?
Right. Yeah, it was fascinating, and I again probably taking notes, but I missed the interaction between them a little bit beforehand, to where Bull did not have any time to. Well, and it's not that he didn't have time; it's that he just did not bring up any of this to Benny, what his plan was. Do you think that really threw a rift initially between the two of them, and that there was no trust?
No, I think it was more so that Benny just needed someone to blame, kind of, for his stupidity. And Bull
Bull's
was the only one who had a hand in this. So obviously you're locked in jail not knowing if you're going to be charged for 10 years for espionage.
Yeah.
So obviously he's gonna say whatever the heck he's gonna say, and Bull, get out of my face, like blah blah blah. Of course you're gonna lash out. He's human, right?
Exactly.
So yeah, but I think at the end of the day they have an understanding, clearly, as you saw later on. Especially when Bull said, "I would have done the same thing over and over again."
Right.
And Benny's like, "All right."
Because I feel, especially after the story about his sister, like, it's not that he doesn't trust him because they're best friends. They are best friends, but after he told one of his best friends a secret,
Yeah.
that's something he still is technically. You can see he's working on that. Like, not that he doesn't want to tell you the secret or what his plan is, but it's taking him a little longer to get there.
And moving along to Colonel Jackson, who at the beginning of the episode, when he threw down, when he closed his laptop when Benny and Bull were in his office, did you sense that there was going to be a broader, I guess, just a role in his character?
Yeah, I think because, once again, they don't just put people in to just put people in. There's a reason why we're having a discussion with you. There's a reason why we're in your office out of anyone's office. If you're not just leading us in and not saying a word and just opening a door for us, if you say a sentence to us, there's a reason why, and we're going to see you later. So that's the only reason I really thought that, in a sense. They did say that he was connected to her and that he was very close with her and stuff. But I didn't sense that he was going to really stick up for her like that.
A personal relationship. That's kind of what I was theorizing at the beginning. If there was something going on between the two of them.
Like sexually?
Sexually, possibly. At least that was my initial thought. When he closed down the laptop, it's like, okay, there's more to this. There's something going on between the two of them.
Yeah.
Because she was his protege.
Yeah, as it
Like,
turns out.
that's what Bull. I mean, I could get that sense because as soon as they came down with all the lights, stop, put your hands up. She
I love you right now. Stop. Put your hands up.
What? That's what they said.
I love this. You're funny tonight. You're killing me. Yeah, keep going.
I'm glad I can make everybody so amused right now.
I love it.
Dang. Okay, wait. Okay, so when she did that, I gotta remember making a laugh. She's like, I can explain. Like, that's something like to you say to like a figure, a mentor.
Yeah.
And just the way she said it, it was like, I don't want you to be disappointed in me. I don't want you to be upset at me. I want you to let me explain why I did what I did before I get taken to jail.
Good,
Yeah.
good pickup. What did you make of his speech and the punishment that he actually dealt out in the end? Because he was the convening authority on the case, and that's why Bull was able to bring him forward, because he knew that he did have that type of protege relationship with her, so he knew that he was going to be a little bit more lenient. But what did you make of a year worth of punishment from him?
Well, I think it's interesting that you can go through a whole trial and then one person can still just make the actual decision on it. Unless I need to look this up, unless he can only decide the sentencing, he can't decide the guilty verdict.
Oh, interesting.
So
That is a good
I'm
point.
wondering if that's what it is. Like, you can be found guilty, but he just decides how many years, kind of, or how long the term is.
Well, okay, go ahead. Sorry.
No, yeah. So that part to me was, it was interesting that he was, I don't know, I was just taken back that the whole jury can go through this process and then you can just say, oh no, it's not going to be 12 years, it's going to be 1 year.
Agree.
I think it was a fair decision. I think that she clearly broke the rules, even though I agree with why she did it. I think that she completely understood that as well. And of course she's not going to stay with the Army anymore. Like, why would they allow you with any other type of information anymore, regardless of why you did it? So I think it was fair, and I think that he knows her, and that's the thing, is that I think Bull is a brilliant man. Bull knows the system, knows how to get to people. He tells a story of the general and what he did. General or lieutenant? Colonel.
Hey, they were all ranks.
Of what the colonel did back in his own past, and they related it to a story of his own, his own doings, and that's what you do. You get that relatable link, and the girl will go for a year, not free, just for a year.
Yeah, it was fascinating, and I truly thought that, again, your court-martial procedural, I just was unaware of that, and I want to read up on it now, because that really is fascinating, to know that that individual can actually have more power than even the presiding judge.
Yeah, exactly.
So that was fascinating. Now, go ahead.
No, and the fact that he didn't willingly stand up, Bull had to call him out.
Yeah.
So he didn't want to do anything, and it wasn't until Bull was like, hey, you're here. And then the judge was like, yeah, stand up, come. So, they weren't going to bring him up unless he said anything.
Yeah.
Because, if he didn't say anything to change it, she would have got 12 years.
Yeah, exactly.
And as we wrapped up the episode, we got a little cliffhanger with Benny. What did you make of that? We had the cliffhanger with.
I was
with-
looking down, so I'm still.
Well, we had the
kinda
letter.
confused.
We had the letter that the letter was what from the U.S. Corruption Office. It was just out of nowhere. So he's going to be investigated for this case that he ended up, I guess, throwing himself out there. Yeah.
It's interesting.
Can he still be investigated for that, even though charges are dropped?
I think that it's interesting that who was it that wanted to speak to the FBI agent at the end of the episode? Someone was like, "Hey, like, was it Danny? Was it Bull? It was Bull who wanted to talk,
Yeah.
right? So maybe
Bull.
that Bull wanted to talk to him has some ties to this letter, and maybe this letter is actually not about being investigated. Maybe it's about something that Bull was trying to get this guy to come on. And I think they want to lead us into that because as we saw in the previews, there was no mention of it. It just had mention to do with Bull's love life. So I don't think it's that important. I think it's just get us a little panicked, but I think I'm smarter.
You and I, Nadine, it was the first time we both did not take off our headsets and we just kind of were
I know, I
in a
was super
zone.
happy.
We were in a zone waiting for this preview and we're so disappointed by the fact that there was nothing insinuating anything about Benny's fate in that preview.
Because I'm the only one that watches the previews, guys.
I don't like spoiling it. We
Like,
say
that
it all
was
the
good.
time.
So like the fact that they were both, I was just like, I was actually staring at you like before. I was like, oh, she's actually has her headphones in, so she's still watching it with
Watching
me.
me.
Yay!
I don't like the spoilers because I'd like to just wait. But this time it was okay, whatever, because it was such a good episode. I was like, what's gonna happen with it? Because I really wanted to know about the letter.
I did
And then it
too.
was his love life that I always complain about.
I mean,
was
maybe
of
like
course.
it might still be in there. It just might not be the biggest part.
I think this is what the previews always are. It's just about what love connection is gonna have, and that's why you love it so much. And the first time I go to watch it,
It's what brings that woman audience back. I don't know.
I love it.
I thought it was
But-
funny that one of the jurors, like when Bull's like assessing, she's like, I'm gonna watch Westworld tonight.
I love it.
I was
That was
like,
good.
Yeah, I
I
love
love
when they
things
do
you're
those
thinking.
little
That's what
parts.
you're thinking. That was funny.
But it was great. I loved the episode.
Yeah.
I think the episode was awesome. Like the little riff between Benny and Bull was really awesome, and I just love their bromance.
Yeah.
I think it was I think it was really one of the best episodes I think so far this season in my opinion. I just really I really enjoyed it, especially with the ending. I just thought that it was more dramatic, less cliche, and we had some variety.
Yeah, it all kind of came full circle. We saw a loss, and we saw them without their computers. I do wonder whether or not they would have won the case if the hacking didn't happen, even without the computers.
Yeah,
I was,
true.
I was
So
thinking
now
the
we
same
need to
thing.
see one more case where they lose without the. No, I'm just kidding.
You mean with the computers?
I got my fix.
We got a taste, and now we need a little bit more.
Let me eat it all up. But I don't know what's
It's like a little hermit crab thing going on right there.
I don't know.
Well, it's Valentine's Day, ladies.
Yeah.
Please tell everybody where they can find you on social media.
You guys can find me at Real Chae Jones on Twitter and Instagram.
And thank you guys for watching so much. Back here next week, same time. You guys can find me in the meantime at Nadine DP and the number 3.
And I am Kevin Ellis. You can find me on Twitter at @TheKevinEllis or on Instagram at KevinEllis25. Thank you again for all stopping by and watching this episode. Know that you can find us on SoundCloud, YouTube, iTunes, all those formats.
Everywhere.
Find everybody on Snapchat, Instagram. You know, we're all there. Take care, guys. Have a great week. See you
You've
next
been
week.
bold.
With no button either.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Boy, you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.